All right, good afternoon and greetings from South Georgia, USA. We are doing another sardine review. These are called Polar. They are in glass, bristling sardines. Naturally alder wood smoked, hand packed, wild caught from the Baltic Sea. And the label says that they are from Latvia. Smoked bristling sardines and olive oil and salt. Very simple ingredients. This is almost 10 ounces right here of sardine. It's 9.52 ounces. $6.19 for that. We buy them in a box from Amazon or Walmart, I'm not sure, and we get them in a 6-pack in a case. And we buy them, and there's no shipping because we buy enough. We've been using these for a while. $6 and something for 10 ounces. Now these Beach Cliff are the cheaper El Cheapo kind. That's a product of Poland. And they are 3.75 ounces, and they're like a couple of bucks, maybe even $1.50. These cost a little more, okay? That's in glass. That means you're not going to be eating metal. That's probably, I don't know what it is, but you're going to be eating metal. If it's stored in metal, some of that metal is getting off. That's why I like to eat out of glass if possible. These right here are packed in olive oil. That's for real. And these right here are packed in, listen to the ingredients here. Sprats, that's sardines, water, mustard, flour, acetic acid, modified cornstarch, salt, turmeric, spices, xanthium gum extract of turmeric, color, and I can't quite read it, and annatto color. And it says it may contain crustaceans. Bumblebee Seafood, San Diego, California. Product of Poland. Okay. I'm not going to open this one because I already have one opened from yesterday. So we're going to do this sardine review. This one here is in mustard sauce. This is a very thin mustard sauce, and it's propped up by flour and xanthium gum. That's what makes it appear to be a thicker sauce. That's pretty much flour. Now let's look at the sardines are very, they have a little body to them. They're not too squishy and soft, but the stuff is real juicy and thick, okay? Now people that are on keto probably would not like to eat these because they contain flour and starchy things, okay? Now, get another bowl here, and let's talk about this one. It is, I'll show you how it looks in there. They're hand packed. You can see very carefully packed, tails down. And let's get a couple of them out. Lay them in here. They're smaller. Bristling sardines. That means they're not very big. This is olive oil here. That's real oil there. That's not got anything but that's real. And I'm going to taste this olive oil. I love olive oil. And I'm going to have a taste of it. It's definitely oil. It doesn't have hardly any salty taste to it, so the salt that they put in there is not very much salt. Now I'm going to have a taste of each. I'm going to start with the xanthium gum, product of Poland. These are much bigger sardines. I'll close my eyes. It's not mushy. A lot of times they're mushy out of a can. These have some body to them. It's not a fishy taste. It's a good taste. I wouldn't have it. It doesn't have any fishy taste at all. Let me get some salt here. I like a little salt. I believe in salt. And this is a good can of sardines here. This Beach Cliff. It's a good sardine. Now, let's go with the Polar. They're smaller. The firmness is they're much more firm. Got a good, definitely got a smoky taste. Very delicious. Let me taste another one of these now. Both of these sardines are good. I don't care for the mustard sauce, but that's just what I had. If I had to have to eat these all the time, I believe I would. If I only had a choice of one, I would go with these right here, with the Polar. I'll tell you why. I don't like I don't like a can. I do like it to be canned in an actual glass jar. These do cost a little more now. Just a little. These are packed in olive oil. There's nothing but salt, olive oil, and bristling sardines. Get one more of these and taste it. Compare. It's not bad. This is not bad a sardine. I like them both. But I like this packed in glass, and I like it that it's in olive oil and not. This has got 4 or 5 different ingredients that I prefer not to eat. I'll tell you another thing about canned sardines. They do these, they run thousands of cans through their pressure cooker. If they run them in there for 10 seconds too long, the sardines will be mushy. If they don't run them through there long enough, they won't get properly canned, and they'll be, you won't, it'll be dangerous to eat them. So they err on the side of making sure that they are canned and they reach temperature. These are good. This particular can here has a good, they're not too mushy, but a lot of times you'll get a can, put it this way, these canned sardines are not consistent. Sometimes they're too well done. And these guys here, these Polar, they are, the quality control on them, I think, is better. The ingredients is more pure. And the consistency of the product has been very good ever since I've been trying to eat these. Now, I'm going to do another thing. I'm going to let Debbie do the same thing that I did and give her opinion of the two types and say whatever she will. Now, Debbie did not like sardines or didn't think she liked sardines, was brought up being told that sardines were horrible food. But one day, she decided to try it. And now she likes sardines, especially good ones. So I'm going to take the camera now, and I am going to change places and let her tell me what she thinks about the two different ones. All right? Go for it. Former sardine hater. Do you want salt?
Huh.
She doesn't use as much salt as I do.
You got plenty of salt in there for me. All right. I like those. These with the mustard sauce in them, they're good. They have a little bit of different flavor than the plain olive oil. But I like the Polars better.
Okay, if you had to choose one, you like the Polar. I agree with that, and I definitely like the consistency of the Polar product, even though they're a little more expensive. All right, I can tell you this, that we can open one of these $6.19 jars for our meal, and a lot of times we don't finish it. So, the two of us. So, we could eat for $3 and something each on these sardines and have a very good whole food product from the Baltic Sea, product of Latvia. You can get these Beach Cliff at Walmart and all, but like I say, and they're okay. If the problem is that you need the cheapest thing, then you can go with these, and a lot of times you get a good sardine.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can get these in water also. Let me see what else I've got in there. We're going to pause. We might see one of these, another kind of beach cliff in another thing, and let's see what happens. All right, we're going to go with a chicken of the sea wild caught sardine in olive oil. Now, these are the cheaper ones here. These are $1, 20, 30, 40, 50, depending on where you get them. And this is sardines, sprats, water, salt, smoke flavor, sardines, chicken of the sea, product of Poland, contains bones, which, by the way, means nothing because when you can these things, those bones are so soft that I've been eating them all my life. You eat the whole thing. Also in the canned salmon and all. A lot of people don't know that. Product of Poland in olive oil, wild caught. All right, we're going to try these and compare them with the... Okay, those look pretty good right there. They're in olive oil. These are larger then again in the... These are called sprats, these little fellas right here. I'll show you the difference in size. These guys here are at least twice as big. Okay, these are the wild caught product, I believe I said of Poland, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Or did I? Product of Poland. So we're going to compare these. Now, to the olive oil, to compare that. It says in olive oil, but they spared the olive oil. This is olive oil mixed with water. See there? You can just see droplets of olive oil, and that's all you see. Now these Polar is pure olive oil. Okay, let's see how it tastes. The olive oil in the... It's 90% water, which got a little olive oil in it. Well, that's one reason they're probably cheaper. Well, let's check out the flavor, though. I can't remember. Now, these are pretty squishy here. These are definitely not very... See there? These are very... I'd say semi-mushy. And that's what I'm talking about, the consistency of the product. All right. Now back to the bristling sardines in pure olive oil and salt. And these are way better than this. But like I said, the consistency of the product in the canned sardines is not as good as the consistency of these glass jar sardines. These right here, I'll taste one more. I would say that this is not something to write home about. Product of Poland. I'm not thinking of calling up the Polish embassy and telling them what great sardines they have. But if I could talk to the Latvian embassy, I might brag on these sardines. right here. It's not the brand. Very likely the same facility packs all of these sardines. I don't know that for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if the same factory in Poland, and I'm sure that's where they're made, in Poland, runs off these millions of cans of sardines, and some of them are labeled Beach Cliff and some of them are labeled Chicken of the Sea. Now, we're going to do our same experiment. We're going to let Debbie try the two different types and see what she thinks about it. All right, now this is the Chicken of the Sea, packed in olive oil that is 90% water.
It definitely has a fishy taste.
A little bit more fishy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, the other one had mustard sauce,
Right.
and I think that hides the fishy taste.
Yeah.
But I didn't find it to be very fishy. It's not, it doesn't make you try to throw up with fish flavor, but
No.
now the Polar.
There's a little bit different taste to the Polars. It may be the pure olive oil in there.
All right.
Yeah, these are
Well,
good.
you're going to get a big old chunk right there.
Oh. Yeah, it's the olive oil in the Polars that makes the difference.
Which one?
The Polar.
That's the one you want. If you had to have just one
If I
kind.
had to have one kind, I would take that.
Okay. That's my agree. I also agree to that also. Now, this is a lunch right here. This is whole food, both of them. All right, that's our review. Now, I've got another. Well, I'll just do that another time. You're going to pay a little bit more for the Polar per ounce. But unless you're just really having problems with feeding yourself, I think it's well worth it to buy the Polar. $6.16 for a jar of it. And like I said, it will feed 2 people. We've done it many times. And in fact, that jar that we opened yesterday, it's not empty yet. All right, we thank you for watching. Please make a comment, support our channel, and make a comment about the sardines. When I first started looking at sardine reviews, I was amazed at the number of people that are interested in this sardine. Oh, by the way, the state of California makes these companies put a warning on sardines saying that they may harm your health because of certain substances that they consider to be harmful. Here, let me read that to you. And we'll talk about that for just a minute. But I will point this out. It's only the state of California that's worried about that. And I'll give a little bit of talk about that. All right, here we go. California Proposition 65. This product can expose you to chemicals, including lead, which is known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects or other reproductive harm. For more information, go to www.p65 Warnings California Government Food. Now, no other state is warning you about that. California's got its own little idea of what's right and wrong. Now, I will point out some of the hypocrisy of the state of California. California is worried about birth defects and other reproductive harm. But the state of California also pushes very hard for abortion. Now, you're talking about reproductive harm? To abort a baby before it's born, or even in California, there are a lot of them want to kill them after they're born. So I'm just pointing out to you that the state of California is a huge hypocrite. They don't want you to eat a sardine, but they're fine with the state and the federal government paying you to rip a baby out of your womb and killing it. That's the way it came out today. Please make a comment. Thank you for watching.